Welcome back to the channel, guys. Got a whiskey poured up. I don't know if y'all can judge by the color whether it's a bourbon or a scotch, but actually, I was looking through the videos that we have done, like little reviews here, and then I was telling Ryan we have never done Eaglerare. Man, like, talk about a fan favorite from Buffalo Trace Distillery, and we've never done a review on it, but that's what we got coming up, guys. Eaglerare bourbon from Buffalo Trace Distillery, aged for 10 years. They don't really have, they do got a little stuff about it on the back. 10-year whiskey. So it's the same mash bill as Buffalo Trace. I think it's mash bill 1. Kentucky Straight Bourbon. They kind of talk about life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, birth of a nation, epitomized by the American bald eagle. That's what they went with the whiskey, Eaglerare. 10-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Sweet, oaky nose, full, complex body. They got a little bit about it on the back, but this is one of the older bottles, actually. We've had a few bottles in the collection. This is actually one of the older bottles of Eaglerare. I think they changed the label up. I want to say 10 years is written on the front now, and then this one it says 10 years in the back. So this is an older bottle. I don't think they have a year of when it was bottled or anything. But anyway. We'll get into this. Nice little color to it. Typical bourbon color. Actually, it's almost a little lighter than a lot of bourbons for a 10-year bourbon, but let's get into the nose. Classic Buffalo Trace all day. So, to me, this is Buffalo Trace that lost its, roughness. It's rounded out a little bit, a more rounded Buffalo Trace. Especially on the nose, you get apple, caramel. Buffalo Trace always has that apple note. That always gets me, just like wild cherry to me. I pick out the cherries in it. Wild turkey, I'm sorry. Pick out the cherries in that wild turkey. See, it reminds me of cherry so much that I just call it wild cherry, but it's wild turkey. Definitely a lot of apple in here. Nice red apple. Caramel. Oak. What you would normally get from bourbon, to be honest with you. Nothing special. Alright, let's get into the flavor, guys. Cheers. Good old bourbon right there. Man, I forgot how decent of a finish that Eaglerare got to it, to be honest with you. I drink a lot of Buffalo Trace just sitting around, watching a football game. My dad loves some Buffalo Trace. He mixes his with water, cuts the grass, has him a cigar, and cuts his grass, drinking him some Buffalo Trace and water with a cigar. But it's kind of a staple in the household. But this one it's like Buffalo Trace, but has a finish to it. It's more rounded Buffalo Trace. It's black pepper note right off the bat. You get a good black pepper note. You get that apple note in there. Caramel comes in. Nice little corn flavor to it. Nice little oak. But it's more rounded, whereas Buffalo Trace has it doesn't really have a bite to it. I mean, this was I think this was 90 proof. Just like Buffalo Trace. I want to say it's the same proof. Yeah, 45% ABV. So 90 proof. No real bite to it at all. Like no huge ethanol presence. Like even nosing it, you can get down in there. It's a 90 proof, you know. And on the flavor, you don't get like a big alcohol burn to it. I never got that with Buffalo Trace either. It's just the Buffalo Trace had, I guess the oak tannins were a little bit. You could tell it had a little youth to it, I guess. I know it's a blended whiskey, so you'd have like a blended age. I don't know like what Buffalo Trace really was supposed to be. I want to say it's like a 6 to 8 year bourbon maybe. This one's just a 10-year bourbon, so it's got more of a finished, rounded vibe to it, and then you have a better finish to it. So it's a little bit more rounded, a little bit more polished on the flavor notes, and then it has a really good finish to it. Oh man, that's good. Good little inviting whiskey, good little finish to it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better bourbon just to sit there and sip on. If you want something like a high proof, you want something to really show out, this probably won't do it. But if you want like a really like elegant, nice little classy whiskey just to sit there and sip on, that's not going to fight with you. Just, you're watching a game, you're watching a movie, perfect little whiskey. Problem with this whiskey is you used to be able to find it on the shelf like in stack bases for like $39, $40 all day. And we used to pick these up all the time. Nowadays, you're lucky if you find them. So with allocated bourbons and just the popularity of Buffalo Trace in general, like, you can't find these. I never would have thought at one point that you can never go to the store and not see Buffalo Trace, but in some places it's like that. You just can't find Buffalo Trace, and if you do find it, like, the price is creeping up on all the bourbon. So, but I think you can still get these for about $40. It's just finding them's a problem. So definitely, if you see it, pick it up. I mean, the bourbon guys know they're gonna pick it up. So nowadays, you more than likely see it in a package deal to where they'll have it behind the counter. And if you buy one of the store picks if the liquor place has a store pick, if you buy one of their store picks, they either put you in a raffle to be able to get this, or this will actually come in a package with one of the store picks, and you just got to buy it all together, which that's not a bad deal, if it's a good store pick. But that's about it for Eaglerare. Not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, it's not a huge complexity to the bourbon, to be honest with you. It's not one of those whiskeys with a whole lot of flavors, but all the flavors are very good, very rounded. There's no off-putting like bitter notes or oak, like weird oak tannin notes. It's just a fine whiskey to sip on for a 10-year bourbon. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better 10-year bourbon, I don't think, unless you get something with a little bit higher proof. For a 90 proof 10-year bourbon, that's pretty damn good. Obviously, it's right up there with Russell's 10-year for the price proof, for the price point. They're both about in the $39, $35, $40 range. Whiskeycouyons rating on this, man, it's good. I love me some Eaglerare. I love me some Buffalo Trace for bourbon wise. I mean, 7.75. I mean, it's got to be up there. It's a good bourbon. You know what I mean? I like it. It's a step up above Buffalo Trace. If you like Buffalo Trace and Buffalo Trace flavors, in that whiskey, that mash bill one, you're going to love Eaglerare. So that's what we got, guys. Cheers. That's the rating, 7.75. Hit that like button and check us out for some, we got a lot of whiskeys to do reviews on. Just check us out on the next videos, guys.